Well, hello, internet friends. Welcome to another episode of Parks and Conversation. There's a lot of things happening in the world, but one thing we can guarantee you is most of the time we will record one of these every week.
Mm-hmm.
And we've tried and true because Parks and Recreation is an American institution. And if we do not take time to celebrate and honor the institutions, what are we even doing this for? And so today we're going to be talking about another episode. My name is Jason. I'm joined by my friend Jeremy all the way across town. Say hello, Jeremy.
Hello.
How are things in your world today?
Oh, they're good. I woke up, I had breakfast, and now I'm recording this. So things can't get much better.
Well, just wait, because it might.
I know, right?
I mean, there might be some great things that we reveal as we walk through this episode, which is season 2, episode 19, Park Safety. And if you downloaded this and you looked at the episode title, you'll see that the episode title is in all caps, and it's "Stick with us, Tom," because we are going to have one of the best guest stars in the history of television, Carl from Park Safety, from the Park Rangers Department. So this basic episode, the story is Jerry goes to feed hummingbirds in the park and comes home with an injury. And then there's a mystery as to what happened to Jerry. So that's the story. There's twists and turns. There's ups and downs. Friends became lovers. Enemies became adversaries. I don't know how these expressions go, but it's quite a journey we go on in this one. And it starts with Leslie coming out to tell everybody it's time to do the hummingbird lottery. And they don't win hummingbirds, but they have to go and feed the hummingbirds, replace all the hummingbird feeders with their new sugar water and stuff. And so they put everybody's name in a hat, and whoever is drawn is the winner/loser who has to go and do this super boring task. Menial task? I don't know.
You know what's kind of lame about being the apex predator in the world is that no one leaves treats out for you. Right? You know? Like, I was just thinking about that. Like, we leave food out for the animals, but no one, like, you don't just like drive by and it's like free hamburger stand.
Yeah.
Or free waffle fries or ice cream. You have to buy it. Like, you got to go get it yourself. No one's like, here's a tube full of sugar water for you. I'd take it.
Well, if they are leaving the sugar water out for the hummingbirds, what's to keep you from drinking it?
That's true. I am bigger than them.
Yeah. I mean, you can swat some hummingbirds away. I mean,
it's not for me, though. I guess that's the point. Like, that's specifically for the humming. You know, I don't know. If there's
one thing I've learned about America is if you want something, you just go take it.
Yeah. Okay.
So
because we are the apex predator. I see.
Exactly. Yeah. The closest thing to the hummingbird feeder for human civilization is Halloween. Because especially the families that just leave it out on the street, like on the steps, the bowl of candy, and say, "Please take one." Like hummingbirds, that would be great to see a hummingbird sign that just says underneath it, "Please take one."
Just take one,
because they don't. They come back over and over again.
Right.
And I don't know anybody at the Halloween house with the bowl on the porch that just takes one. I don't know. Like, why would you? Like, take as many as you want. So, America. It's beautiful. So, what we find out, though, in the lottery is that everybody in the department just writes down Jerry. And except for Leslie, who writes 1 for her and then 20 for Jerry. And so every time Jerry is selected to feed the hummingbirds, to replace the hummingbird feeders, I should say. And so he's surprised that this is happening. After his 3rd straight month of having to replace the hummingbird sugar water. And everybody else is just like, no, I'm never worried about it. So I don't know why he doesn't catch on to the hat having way more pieces of paper in there than there are people in the department.
He might not see it. First. It might not be a public, I guess she did pull it out.
She drew it out in front of everybody. And they all write their own names down.
Maybe they don't look inside of it when they draw. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I think
he's too trusting. He's very trusting.
yeah, he's the kindest person in this office. And that's going to come back to dislocate his shoulder in a minute. But I think this whole thing needs to be totally revamped and redesigned. Like people should not be allowed in a lottery system at work to write their own entry.
Mm-mm.
Like it should be like Ron, who doesn't care, and his name's never going to be in there. Ron should be the one to write everybody's name down and then put it in the hat.
Yeah.
And they can have like, poll watchers from outside, like making sure that it's the right names, going on the pieces of paper, that there's the right signatures. Wait, that's too much like what's happening now. So,
sometimes those slips of paper can get lost in the hat, you
right.
know?
Yeah. That's true. And if there's a delay in the slip company, or they misprint the whole slip, or if anyway, so
really working hard on this one. Yeah.
Trying not to let the world take over this parks and conversation.
Let's not let it.
Let's not. So let's keep going, because there's plenty of drama to unfold. So Jerry takes the sugar water and he goes, credits happen. And then it cuts back to the office after the credits, and Leslie is presenting about the summer concert series for children in the park, saying that they're going to have Freddy Spaghetti. And I don't know if you caught this, but the picture of Freddy Spaghetti is a different person than the person who will actually play Freddy Spaghetti in the coming weeks.
I didn't notice it because from what I remember from watching it just a little bit ago, was that it looked similar.
It looks similar, but it's a different dude.
Good catch. I didn't see that.
He's got gray hair. So, and it's not just because it's a black and white photo. It's a color photo. So I've been tricked before.
Right. Fool me once. Shame on fool me twice. Can't get fooled again.
No, exactly. I'm keeping eyes on you too, sepia tone. So, yeah. So
April's like, didn't Freddy Spaghetti OD?
Yeah.
Those Mr. Funny Noodles, and his drummer shot him. It's like this is its own spinoff right there. Is the dramas of children's musical, acts.
Yeah. Do you remember Tim Noah?
Oh yeah.
Have we talked about Tim Noah before?
No.
Okay.
Not that I know of.
Oh, I see. I thought Tim Noah, children's actor, like children's song from this region. Like, I don't know if he's like known around the country. I thought he was the coolest because my music teacher in elementary school, Mrs. Lettuce, she would play Tim Noah videos, like laser discs, like all the time in music class. And he had like this whole like kids rock opera with aliens and stuff. And I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. And then like in middle school, I was just like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Why was I so into that?
I don't know, but like some of these kids entertainers make a boatload of money.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm not
like Johnny Karate and Chris Ballou, Casper Baby Pants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some really great kids music.
Yeah.
Like the Rockabye Baby.
Kids Bop.
How dare you? I was being sincere. And here you go, bringing up Kids Bop.
Rockabye Baby is amazing. My kids grew up with them.
Yeah. And I have the Coldplay Rockabye Baby. Like I got the CD, and then I ripped it onto my hard drive so that I could, like when we're traveling, I could just play my like iPad or something in the kids' room when they were going to sleep while we're like on vacation. And so every once in a while, I'll just be listening to music on shuffle, and I'm getting choked up here.
Yeah.
I'll listen to music on shuffle. Yeah. And then clocks will come on in like Rockabye Baby style, and I don't skip it. I really like it.
Yeah, you just gotta let that glockenspiel play out,
Oh man, it's so good. The Radiohead one is really good. So many good Rockabye Babies. but not the
Go
song
check it out.
Rockabye.
Check out the link in the description, and
There won't be a link in the description.
All of your purchases help support this podcast.
Nah, that's not true. But if you go and like and subscribe and whatever and rate us on iTunes, I hear that helps things. Thank you. Now back to the show. So they are in the presentation, and they're waiting for Jerry to come back, and he's taking a long time. And so they start making fun of Jerry and all the things that he has done and the silliness of his failures in life. And Ron then explains the difference between a schlemiel and a schlemazel. And a schlemiel is somebody who spills soup at a fancy restaurant. The schlemazel is the person who the soup is spilled upon. And Jerry is both the schlemiel and the schlemazel of their department, which is a fantastic summary of Jerry's character.
Yeah.
That is the role that he plays.
And also answered an age-long question of mine from growing up watching Laverne and Shirley.
Right. Yeah. They're going to make it. Schlemiel, Schlemazel, Hassan Pfeffer Incorporated.
Yeah.
So, yes. So as they're making fun of Jerry, Leslie gets a phone call from Anne. Jerry's in the hospital. And so quick cut to the hospital, and they find Jerry there. And he had dislocated his shoulder. And then and he says, I was mugged. And Tom starts making fun of him for being mugged. And then Jerry gives this very detailed account of what happened and how when they started to attack him, he just kind of went into a fetal position. And Ron is interrogating. I love Ron. He's so much in this episode. He's like, did you hit him? Did you hit them in the nuggets? There's no shame in hitting a criminal in the beanbag. So,
he's like, no, I just curled up his feet. He's like, well, that's one way to do it.
Right. And then Leslie is like getting in on the case real quick. And she's like, did you get any kind of identifying markers, any kind of scars or tattoos? If they have one identifying scar, we've got these sleazeballs. And he said, no, I didn't get a good look. And Leslie's mad at him for not getting a good look at the criminals.
She's like, no, you're the victim. Sorry, you're the victim.
So they're beginning the process of starting an investigation into what happened here with Jerry. But as they're driving back, Leslie's like, I feel really bad for this. I feel like this is our fault. And what is their fault? Because they all wrote Jerry's name down. She says, I feel like this is karma, like getting us. And April's like, but he got hurt. And so Jerry's so bad, he can't even get karma right.
Yeah, that was great.
So this is really creating some tension in Leslie. Like, this is not good what's happening. So she comes in, I don't know, next day, couple hours. She made a poster with Jerry with a black eye on it and says that Jerry is the face of failure. And so he's the symbol of failure for our department, and our whole department has a black eye. And so Leslie starts giving everybody tasks on what to do, how to like do this investigation. And Ron wants to teach everyone self-defense. So everybody's got something to do.
One of my favorite parts about this too is that even throughout most of the rest of the episode, every time they start making fun of Jerry, when Ron's around, Ron just kind of nods his head, like knowingly. Like he doesn't like add in, he doesn't laugh. He's just like, yeah, that's right. I just love, if you watch it in the background, it's so much fun.
Right. He's a little restrained.
Yeah, he's the boss, but he's in on it. You know, he knows he probably should. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I love Ron. So after that little like breakdown of tasks, Anne goes and sees Andy at the shoe shine stand. And Andy wants to change his band name again to Scrotation Marks, which is just real weird. And Anne reminds him, like, you gotta like stay the same. If people don't know who you are, how are they gonna become fans? And Andy's like, yeah, you're really good point. You're really smart. And talking head with Anne afterwards, like, I've always had a lot of fun with Andy. And this is kind of sowing seeds into the direction for her relationship with Mark. Andy is fun. Mark is khaki pants. So, which means not fun. Just
okay. I didn't.
boring.
I've worn khaki pants before and had fun, but I get it.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it was a khaki pants party, so you couldn't
What
not
did you
have
do
fun.
at the khaki pants party?
We traded. Well, first of all, we all talked about how if the debate about pleated or not pleated.
Right.
Yeah,
Flat front.
that's flat front pants versus pleated,
Mhm.
cuffed or not.
Right.
So like I said, you can't just wear khaki pants and not have fun when
I guess.
around other people who wear khaki pants. So do you like a solid leather belt, braided, things like that? Do you go with the stone, a pure khaki? What is khaki? Is khaki a color or a style? Is it the green? So there's a lot of there's a lot of fun things you can talk about at a khaki party.
I'm sorry, I fell asleep. So that sounds great. The speaking of
Sorry, hold on,
khaki.
hold on. I'm throwing away your invitation to the next khaki party. All right, go ahead.
Oh, that saves me a lot of responding that I'll have to do. So thank you. We're doing everybody favors right now. I just saved you 51 cents on postage, and you saved me the feeling of guilt of not responding in the first place to an RSVP. So
wins all around.
Yeah, all good. So so Jerry comes back into the office, and Leslie declares it's Jerry Day and whatever you want to do. And Jerry's like, I just want to get back to normal. And so there's, just a no jokes, no comments, no making fun of Jerry. And so Ron's like, well, you've had a presentation, so let's go ahead and do that. And Jerry stumbles through his whole presentation. He's talking about the salmon season closing, but it's picking up on trout, but he says twout, and everybody is trying to not make fun of him. Everything's falling apart. He tries to put up his presentation. It's a picture of him in Muncie on vacation. There's a lot going on. And ultimately he has to plug something in, and he bends over, ripping his pants and then immediately farting. And this is the schlemiel and the schlemazel all happening at one time. This is what Ron was pointing to the whole time. So
my favorite, whose reaction would you say was your favorite out of all of those?
April really, I resonate with April when I see something like that. And I'm just like, I don't want to be mean. I don't want to call out, but like, I have to go big and quiet. That's what April's thing is, like, hands up, mouth wide open, like, what on earth is happening? But you can't say any of those words. So,
right.
Yeah.
I thought Donna's was my favorite. Just the super, like, no eye contact with anybody else, giant eyes staring, like 1,000-yard stare. It was great.
Yeah, it happens to everybody. Yeah, I think that does highlight maybe a little bit of a difference in our personalities. So we've known each other a long time, and so if there were some kind of like, I don't know how to handle it,
Right.
I think you're more prone to just like, don't acknowledge this happened.
Right. No, total denial, just wide-eyed. I'm just gonna freeze for a while, see if it sorts itself out. Jason, you're just gonna kind of call it out in your way, like,
like,
what's happening? Are you okay? Okay, good. We can laugh now.
I want everybody to know that I saw what happened. I know what's going on, but I won't say anything. So, yeah, which is just very therapeutic. This scene was so like, oh man, the first time I saw this, I remember it was too many things happening all at once. And when he bends over and rips his pants, I was like, oh, it can't get worse. And then he farted. And I was like, oh my word, this is the best writing ever. So, it really got the middle school boy in my heart really excited. So,
and everyone's reaction was different, which was kind of like the whole, it's like, who would you be? It's so great. Ron, Leslie's just stacking papers,
right?
Like,
doing something else.
Gotta stay busy. Like, that's my, so good.
So the it cuts then to the office, and Leslie has a visitor, Carl from the Park Rangers, Andy Samberg, who was a former castmate on SNL along with Amy Poehler, currently Is it over? I haven't finished Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Is it? He was Jake Peralta on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
No, I think it's still going.
It is? Okay. Nothing is live for me anymore, so I don't know when things get actually canceled.
They just you just forget about them. Like they just go away.
I usually do. Like there's so many shows where like, is that over? I don't know. I got distracted. So like, is the West Wing still on?
No.
So Carl comes in from the park rangers, and he's a loud talker, like real loud, obnoxiously loud. And he's the head of all outdoor security. And Tom has a talking head, was like, yeah, he used to be on a desk job, but he got put outside. And he like, why do you ask? And he opens the door. He's like, have you guys seen Avatar? I still haven't seen Avatar. And he closes the door, and he's still super loud, talking about wanting to see Avatar, but wanted to read the book first. But there was no book version of Avatar. So, yeah. And
what'd you guys do for St. Paddy's Day? just keeps going. Love it.
This is somebody who spends most of his time outside, probably by himself.
Right.
But he wants to like talk and be with people. So when he's with people, he's going to keep talking about nothing. So, yeah. So he is kind of annoyed. Like, now that something bad is happening in the park, now you're calling me.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote down why he wears why he brings up the size 7 shoes, but I don't remember like what his actual reason for saying that is. But Leslie points out that he has small feet, and Tom says that's the global average for foot size. I thought that was funny because Tom also is a small man.
Yeah, I didn't fact check that, but I'd go with it.
Yeah. So the cuts to the self-defense class, and Ron is in like full like self-defense sweatpants and white t-shirt. And Andy is saying like, let me put Mark in a headlock so we can show everybody how to escape from a pervert. And Mark points out, in this situation, you would be the pervert, right? To which Andy's reply is, you wish.
And that highlighted like my entire like upbringing, like middle school, junior high school experience with people who tried to diss people, and then you use logic against them, and then they always seem to win with like some lame comeback, like you wish, and then everyone's like, oh, and like, no, he's still wrong. He's still wrong. Come on, but nobody cares. That's why I was friends with the librarian.
You know, librarians are cool. I know at least one cool librarian. So
yeah,
I'm going to extrapolate from that one librarian I know.
Yeah, all librarians are cool.
Yeah. In my experience with librarians, they're pretty cool.
My favorite part of that scene was the talking head with Anne. And I can't remember if she was talking about a Lifetime show, but it was called How Far Is Too Far Enough?
Right.
Yeah, it sounds like a Lifetime one, but it's like just the most ridiculous title ever. Yeah.
And yeah, she has extreme agoraphobia. So she doesn't like crowds or going outside. And so her therapist attacks her from inside the house
and tries to eat her toes.
Yeah. So sounds like a Lifetime movie, which I think they're already doing Christmas movies like every day, all day. And so I can't handle this. So
have you heard the joke about what has 3 actors, 1 plot, and 17 titles?
No.
A Lifetime movie. A Lifetime Christmas movie.
I get it. I get it.
So they're at the park, and yeah.
Well, part of that self-defense thing, before we go too far, is April there's tension between April in this episode as Anne and Andy are interacting, and her jealousy is definitely showing as more and more attention is given to Andy from Anne. So I just think that's important to point out at this point in their character arc. So yeah, so at the park, what happens at the park, Jeremy?
Oh, yeah, they're getting into the cart with Carl, and he just shouts, "You guys ready?" And they cut away. They kind of pan across to the field where a huge flock of birds fly away because he scared them all into flight.
Yes.
And then so he's like, "We're gonna go check out where it happened, and then I'm gonna show you this log that I found, there's like 50 worms on it.
Call it worm log.
Call it worm log. So
in the cart is so great because he's it's a total dump and it's falling apart. And he says, "Yeah, we used to have 3 carts, but one got pushed into the creek by some kids. The second one had raccoons piss all over it, and then the third one was stolen." And Tom asks, "Which one is this?" "This is the raccoon piss one." So, right, like it's just like great. This is perfect. Like it's so good. Like this is the raccoon piss one. And as they start to get going, there's too much weight in the cart, and so in the park is Leslie, Carl, Tom, and Jerry. And Leslie's like, "Oh, that's probably Tom." And so why don't you get out and walk and run alongside with us? So they do.
Because they're trying to make Jerry feel better, or not like he's the one who's got the problem.
Right.
The other thing that kind of highlighted this with the cart and everything and with Carl is that we have this entire show about the parks department, but the people who actually go and run the park, it's like, it's still very Pawnee. Like it's, run down carts, the parks are unsafe, and so Leslie and these, this is like almost the closest I feel that they really get into the whole parks, like the inner workings of the physical park itself. They mention it throughout the series, but it's like, man, no, the Pawnee parks are super sketchy and dangerous, and like they can't even keep the raccoons off their golf carts. So
right,
it's great.
Yeah, the raccoons are a major problem in this town, so you gotta watch out. So they start driving away, and Carl is giving a tour. He's like, "This is one of our great parks over here. It's a grass field. It's mostly grass. We're going to take a hard left here. Keep up, Tom. Stick with us, Tom." Tom is just running alongside. So good. Stick with us, Tom.
So many times, like Tom is just like running in episodes. It's great.
He's got a good runner's form, though. So that's nice.
Yeah. He's willing to commit as an actor in a suit and run. Oh, I got sweaty just watching him.
Yeah. Well, the shoes alone, like your feet would be killing you if you were trying to run in dress shoes. So, all right. So back at the self-defense class, Ron is trying to show people how to escape from a hold. Like if somebody's grabbing you around the shoulders from behind. And he's like, he's using Andy as his, I'm going to use dummy. And he's using Andy, and he's saying like, you want to try to break free with your legs, not your neck, like Andy's doing. And Andy's trying so hard and to get out, and he eventually like passes out. And as Ron recognizes that Andy's passed out, he like drops him, and you can hear Ron just very slightly go, "Oops."
And I love how they cut into this too, because Ron is like rubbing his neck or shoulder or something as Donna's walking away and goes, "Okay, lesson learned." Like so it just adds to her that whole like she's awesome. Like Donna is not someone to mess with.
Right. Yeah.
So just those little teeny tiny bits makes her legendary.
Donna's great.
Then Anne runs up.
Yes.
To save Andy. That's what I was gonna say. So more of that tension that you were talking about.
Yes. So the cuts back, and they're at the park, and they're looking at the place that Jerry is saying he was assaulted, and they're like, and Carl's like, "Yeah, this is really bad. People are getting assaulted here." And Leslie's response is, "Why can't we have more park rangers here?" And you can see like Carl has been through some things here. He's like, "Who do you think they're assaulting?" And so Leslie's like, "I'm going to get this fixed."
Sorry, I yelled.
Yeah. So Leslie's going to get this fixed. Cut back to the self-defense class, and Anne is trying to help see if Andy is okay. And she's like, "What day is it?" And he's like, I don't know. I'm really bad at days. And this is where April jumps in. It's like, "Yeah, that's true. He is really bad at days." So, and Andy wants to learn Ron's move, what's the move? Like just squeezing somebody from behind?
Reverse bear hug.
Yeah, like that's not really a move like that you need to learn, Andy. But Ron is happy to teach him. So then Leslie goes to try to get the public aware of the problems in the park and security. And so she goes to Pawnee's number one morning show, Joan Calamezzo, Good Morning Pawnee. And she is out there to tell the story of Jerry, and the public needs to support them, and the government is failing. To which later that day, Paul, the city manager, shows up in Leslie's office and says, "You can't go badmouth your government on TV," but it worked, and the mayor's going to give you $2,500, which is not that much money for park security, and there's going to be a press conference. So things are happening. Leslie is bringing about the change she wants to see in the world, $2,500 at a time.
Good for her.
Yeah, good for her. Good, Leslie. Good. But when they get to the press conference, Jerry seems really nervous. And he confesses that he made everything up. That
what?
He was not assaulted by the town youths or the raccoons of Pawnee. He made it up because he fell in a creek. And he stopped for a breakfast burrito, to which Leslie responds, the farting. And then he fell trying to pick up the burrito from a log in the creek. And he slipped and he dislocated his shoulder. And having dislocated my shoulder, it hurts real bad. Having dislocated my shoulder in front of people in high school, that also hurts real bad in an emotional way. And so I can understand Jerry's tension here. So
please explain what happened.
Which time?
When you dislocated your shoulder in front of people. Did you have you dislocated it more than once?
Oh, yeah, both shoulders. I have terrible shoulders. They're like the worst. So I dislocated my shoulder playing football in high school. Woody Stemley just knocked it right out of socket. And I went to the hospital and everything. And by the time I got to the hospital, it had replaced itself somehow. I don't know. They didn't have to do that thing in the movies where the guy like pushes it back in and they're like, and then they go and like they keep fighting Terminator. Mm-hmm. That wasn't my story. But then later I've dislocated it dancing, specifically doing the Carlton Banks dance. And another time I was in racket net sports in my senior year in high school. And we were playing racquetball in high school. And I hit the ball, the little blue ball. And I felt the racquetball, yes. Which is not like, I'm saying like, it's not like a big heavy weight that like, but the combination of the momentum from the ball meeting my arm sent a reverberation of uncertainty down my arm to my shoulder, popping it out of place. And that led to me immediately falling on the ground. And I'm not going to say I was crying, but I wouldn't be surprised if tape said I was crying later. But I was, this happened in front of some friends of mine that were in the class, one of whom is Christy Martin. I'm going to just call her out. She's probably never going to listen to this. But Christy Martin saw me do this. She saw me fall. And even now, even today, she still brings it up. So I can understand why Jerry might want to not tell the truth about what happened here. His falling is very embarrassing. But, you know, part of the challenge for Jerry is, as Mark will show later, someone in the office is afraid to tell coworkers the truth about what happened to him because he's going to get made fun of. So the most wise thing that Mark has said on this whole show, and a little too soon, too little, too late, Mark. So
you've already cut ties.
Yeah, he's out of here. Get out of here, Mark. You're gonna sell out. Brandana quits. So, so that's what happened to Jerry. That's what happened to me. Jerry and I are dislocated brothers. It was my left arm too, and I'm left-handed. And so for weeks in high school, I had to figure out how to write on the desks that are all jacked up. You know, they have the smaller desks that are one side, and it was a mess. It was awful. So that's that story.
I'm sorry for you retrospectively.
I appreciate that. As Anne comes by to the shoe shine after, so like that press conference kind of resolves itself. Leslie's trying to cover up for Jerry, keep it under wraps. But Anne then goes to the shoe shine stand to check in on Andy, to see how he's doing. And then they're chatting. But then April comes by, sees Anne, and tries to turn around. And Andy calls out to her, is like, hey, Ludgate, I got you the vegetarian muffins that you're always eating. And this brightens April's whole life. You can see it in her face. Like, she's so happy. Even though we see Andy and Anne talking, April recognizes that Andy wanted to talk to April more than Anne. So, which made some confusing feelings for Anne when she's like, when did he start caring about other people? Like, this is a new Andy. So, but a job will do that to people, I guess. You know, some regular relationships with normal people.
Right.
Like,
yeah. Not,
you know, like not just living in a pit.
Not just animals in a pit.
With your rat colleagues.
get a lot of tag in, but not a lot of, personal connection, conversation.
Right. Exactly. So that's when Anne and or Leslie and Mark are talking, and then Leslie gets a call. I don't know who called her, but somehow Carl has found video of Jerry falling in the creek. And so he's going to go on Joan's show, because Leslie basically threw the whole parks department security under the bus. And so Carl's like, that's not going to happen. I'm going to throw you under the bus. And so then Leslie convinces him to not do that, but they still have to go on the show. And so I love how they are talking about this, because Joan's like, I would like to give an update on Parkgate. And we have Carl here to give us the latest. And Carl's like, I finally saw Avatar and it lived up to the hype. Leslie's response is, I also saw Avatar and it exceeded the hype.
Right. I have to disagree.
What? Disagreement. So, yeah. So Joan is really pissed at Leslie. She's like, I'm Joan Calamezzo. You don't mess with me. And then Leslie starts to leave, but Joan grabs a hold of Carl. He's like, where are you going? Don't make me chase you. And Carl's response is, okay.
You're right.
Now, one of my favorite characters on SNL from Andy Samberg is Shy Ronnie. Do you remember Shy Ronnie?
I don't remember Shy Ronnie.
Oh, Shy Ronnie is great because it would be in a hip hop video. And like it's all like big and like exciting, like the normal Lonely Island kind of videos that they made. And so like there was one with Rihanna where it's all this stuff is happening, and then they toss it over to Shy Ronnie, and he's like, so when Carl is like, okay, I immediately thought of Shy Ronnie.
Shy Ronnie.
Yeah, it's great. So we see that because he didn't reveal the tape, it cuts to the Rangers, and they've got a brand new security cart with lights on the top. And then so that's kind of resolved. But Leslie's going to hold on to that tape of Jerry, watch it one more time, and then destroy it because it's so funny.
It's so funny.
So end of the credit scene, April comes in with the peppermint mocha for Jerry, and she's like, oh wow, that's so great. And then he holds it and squeezes it, which I don't understand anything about why Jerry does anything, but he squeezes it, it explodes all over himself, and everybody is kind of shocked, and Jerry's like, go ahead. And so they all start making fun of him, like, we should just apply the food directly to your clothes. And Leslie comes out, yay, making fun of Jerry's back. So and then it cuts to Jerry, and why we see that he's so patient with all of their ridicule is because he has 2 years until retirement. And he's willing to put up with the teasing because it's almost over, and he's going to read his mystery novels and smoke his cigars. So that is the end of Park Safety. The end.
Yay!
Yeah. So impressions, thoughts. As I was looking through, I didn't see any great trivia or anything that stands out other than the Freddy Spaghetti person.
Yeah,
is different.
That's a good catch. Yeah.
But
No, I love this one. Andy Samberg made this one a lot of fun. And yeah. Yeah. I'm just trying to think of anything that we left. I was trying to look through the notes. I liked when Andy was on Pawnee today, or Carl, sorry. He
mhm.
they shot, they had a shot with the monitor, and it had the audio meter above it, and it was just in the red the entire time. It was just peaking. I thought that was really great visual. And yeah, no, that was about it. One thing I will think is really interesting, and is that, let's see here, how did I make this connection? There was Carl, and you'd said that what did you say, something about Will Smith and the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Did you say something about Carlton? You
Oh,
did
I was doing the Carlton dance.
you
Yes.
did the Carlton dance,
Yeah.
and then you threw out your shoulder,
Uh-huh.
and
Yes.
that's what it was. And that they had found a home video of Jerry falling into the creek, which was really funny. And then he didn't share with the dog. And Carlton on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air now runs AFV, which is my kid's favorite show, Alfonso.
Mhm.
And I think that video would have made it on there. And that's all I have to say about that.
Wow. That was a journey of connections that I don't think people realize would never have happened on any other podcast.
It's true.
This is the kind of in-depth analysis and speculation that only two people who have been probably in quarantine too long can come up with.
It's
So,
I look for the threads, you got to find
mhm.
the things that connect, all the, you dislocated your shoulder, Jerry dislocated his shoulder, Carlton, there's a video. I mean, it all makes sense to
It
me.
all makes sense. It's Carlin on.
It's almost like, yes. Oh
Carlin
man.
on.
Carlin on.
Yeah. We are looking for Carl drops. Pay attention to any of our typos and Cafefe all the way to the future. So
I know of no better ending than that.
All right. Well, maybe we should just change our whole branding to Carl and on.
Carlin on. I'm not against it.
I am.
Okay.
As a joke. None of this will air.
That's
because
true.
the deep podcast won't let it air.
That's right. Yeah.
Deep podcast is working against us.
Our power is going to get shut off here at some point. They're listening.
Well, let the truth shine freely through this audio medium. So, but we should end. Why not?
We should end. Real quick though. So up next is
it is the summer catalog.
Summer catalog. Awesome. I like this one. It was a sweet one. So, all right.
Yeah, this one is not, I don't think summer catalog is super funny.
No.
But it has some really great character moments.
Yeah.
And I do think Ron is fantastic in this one.
Yeah.
And
I love the end. I love the end. It's it's sweet, and I really like it. So I'm excited to talk about that one. So cool. Well, listen, you have yourself a great rest of the week, and
maybe I will.
Well, no, I mean, I'm telling you to have one. You have to.
You're ordering me.
Yeah.
I will defer to my elder.
Sounds good. All right. I will talk to you next time.
All right. Take it easy.
No.